And we welcome you back to the program, and certainly the 5-12 game. That's the one everyone talks about. That's where the upsets usually are, if you're filling out a bracket, of course. And speaking of that game, Mike Young joins us, the head coach at Wofford, making his fourth trip to the tournament in the last 6 years, taking on Mike Anderson's Arkansas Razorbacks. Coach, thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations. I'm sure you know the terrain, but this is always a very special time of the year.
It's a very special time, Paul, and to be a part of this great tournament once again is rewarding, and we're awfully proud of that. We've got an awfully good basketball team, and we look forward to the opportunity to take on the Razorbacks and get down here and give it our best shot.
Yeah, a lot of times people look at these matchups and they'll say, well, this club has no shot, but you've proven in the past that you can play with the big dogs. That epic game a couple of years ago against Wisconsin. You've had other really close calls. Let's talk about Arkansas. They lost to Kentucky the other day. They were probably the second best team in the SEC. We know a lot about them, and I'm sure by now so do you.
They're ultra talented. I'm very impressed. The more I watch, the job that Coach Anderson's done. He's won everywhere he's been. UAB, Missouri, now at Arkansas. They've got a terrific player in Bobby Portis that we're all aware of. But to watch this team play, the more I see them, I'm such a big fan of Michael Qualls, a small forward, just super athletic and plays the game the right way. He plays with great energy, and they're deep. They play a lot of people. We know we have our hands full, but as I said, there's a reason we won 28 games and have 4 or 5 top 100 wins or whatever it is. We have good players also, and we have look forward to getting down here again and playing.
Coach, it's interesting. You fill out a bracket. I was doing one with my wife last night. She doesn't follow the sport that closely, and you hit the mid-majors, and people who don't watch a lot of college basketball look like there's no way, but you know differently. Explain to people maybe that aren't well-traveled in college basketball why there is such great basketball in your conference and around the country.
Well, what you're not going to find at this level typically, as you know, is the big front lines that you see in the SEC, ACC. But what you will find, teams like us that have very good players, very good guard play, kids that can really shoot the basketball, kids that have been around for a long time. We'll start 2 seniors in our lineup tomorrow, 2 juniors, on Thursday. And guys that have competed on this stage before, which is such a big deal. We played in places such as Cameron Indoor Stadium. We won at NC State back earlier in the year. There's a lot of good basketball out there, Paul. As you know, we happen to be one of those teams this year. We're proud of the things this team's accomplished.
Coach, I was on a show Sunday night on Selection Sunday, and you're moving on the fly, and I'm saying, why these 5-12s? I mean, obviously there's 7 spots between them, and someone who had coached a long time said it's really not that big a deal. Those schools are usually much closer together. I'm not trying to draw you into an Arkansas conversation, but you're in one of those 5-12 games, but you also know the sport. This is where the upsets usually lie. Why do you think that is?
I think the person you were speaking with hit it on the head. There's not a tremendous disparity between, 5 and 12, maybe even 4 and 13. We were 13 in 2010. We had a really good team. Guys that had been through a lot of battles and had competed against, several teams in the Big Ten and ACC. And once they get to this stage, as much respect as we have for Arkansas, we've been there and we have, we've had success. And I think last year's experience playing in the NCAA tournament will serve this team well. I can try to sell them on it's another game and, one game at a time and all that stuff, but it's not another game. It's a different deal. And maybe we didn't handle some things very well a year ago that I think that we're in better frame of mind to handle this time around.
Coach, I realize all you're thinking about is Thursday and taking on Arkansas, and I realize you're too busy to read newspapers, but I don't have anything to do, so I read the Charlotte Observer this morning or yesterday, where a local columnist recommended you to take over for Coach Major at the University of Charlotte. The 49ers made a change on Sunday. I know you'll probably try to find a way not to answer that question, but I'm asking anyway. Have at it.
Paul, when you have had the success that we have had for several years, you're going to hear things like that. Now, that's part of the business, part of the process. But as I've told a couple other people, and I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from when I say this, I owe this team and I owe this college and the Spartanburg community everything inside me. We've got an unbelievable opportunity down here on Thursday to compete against a great program in Arkansas. Everything in my body is going to this team and this experience and doing everything we can to prepare for Thursday's matchup. When it's all said and done, see what happens and consider and handle it professionally and, take it from there. But I will not give one thought to anything like that until this team, bows out of this tournament.
Coach, I know you have an agent, but if you need one, I'm available. I think you're going to be in demand.
I think a lot of people would be afraid of you, Paul. I've never had an agent. I don't think I need an agent. I'm just a little old mouse here in Spartanburg and enjoying every day that I've got with this team.
Well, I'll take it on. I'll give you usually it's 15%. I'll give you 7.5, Coach. Good luck. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure to visit with you.
Paul, I really appreciate you having me on.